Welcome, everybody, to 2019 Rules of the Arena, episode 17? Yeah, episode 17.
Don't look at us for validation.
Someday we'll
you
figure it
broke
out.
my microphone.
It's been a long day for Casey. Less of a long day for me. Grandpa Ben just got out of the nursing home. We finally got clearance for him. Finally made it out here.
That's true.
Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
I don't know if you're allowed to make Grandpa Ben jokes after today. After the day you've had today.
I'm with Casey.
I kind of broke Casey's microphone cord. What do you call it, an XR cord?
XLR.
Yeah, no, after much protest about me, you're like, but I brought my own microphone.
I bought.
Make it work.
You do it.
I pulled the Ben and I brought a really fancy microphone that I bought. Thank you, Alicia. You're my favorite.
Yeah, but I know how to use mine.
Well, I know how to use it. I talk into
No,
it.
you God damn it.
It's the Wizard of Oz across from me over here that does all the magic things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look behind the curtain.
Yeah, just
I said don't.
I'm not very good at following rules.
yeah.
You're about as good as Gordon.
That's a low blow.
You're not the first to say that. I've been here since we did.
Yeah, so
Duo.
to be fair, you have done 3 out of the 5.
Yeah, we did Duo. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we learned that just everything is just 2 people stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
Yep, and I agreed with Carlos on 2 different subjects. I'm
Yeah,
kinda
so
worried.
that really means that you have no legs to stand on anymore.
I need to go rethink my life now.
Are you a communist now?
No, not quite.
Oh, okay.
No, he just hates everything good and just in the world.
I knew that.
So yeah, communist.
Yeah. What did we do? And then we did a new podcast for me.
I thought you weren't going to talk about that.
Well, no, I'm previewing. I'm not going to release anything.
You
quite
specifically
yet.
told
You
Casey
specifically
and I not
said
to talk
do
about
not
it.
say anything about it.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I lied.
Oh, that's because he wanted to talk about it.
Self-promotion.
Shameless.
Yes. New podcast
No, there should
coming
be
out
shame.
down the road. Don't have a release date at this point that I want to do. Still want to hash out a few things on that stuff. More on my side than Casey's. Casey's been awesome putting up with me and dealing with me. Aside from his bullshit of talking me... Yes.
Thank you.
Golf
My
clap.
dick will be available all night long.
What,
I think Gordon's preoccupied with his thing over here.
fooled you.
It's
Brought
not
my
that big.
own. A little. Was it? Yeah. No, it was that Wednesday after New Year's.
Yep. Yeah, we both got too drunk.
Yeah. Casey somehow managed to liquor me up enough to convince me that I should write a beer recipe, even though I
I
have.
had totally forgotten about that until he kept reminding me.
He's been talking about it since that day.
I feel like he's very excited about it.
I'm excited to hear what I've done wrong. So I pitched my original idea to the one that I sent you screenshots of to Mike at Pitchfork, and he said, "Well, you're not too far off. I would just knock this back and adjust this, so I feel less shitty."
Yeah.
After spending 7 hours, unknown how many tabs open on my internet browser, trying to figure out what the hell yeast and malt do in a brew. And
Well, one makes the flavor and the other one makes alcohol.
yeah, and listening to 2.5 years of Homebrew Bound in the process.
That is more impressive that you could listen to Miles that long.
Your words, not mine. It wasn't too bad. There's some philosophical differences, though I've kind of come to realize that if the zombie apocalypse happens, I'm going to find Miles, and he's going to be my MacGyver at this point.
He definitely MacGyvered a bunch of shit together.
Like, oh, I'm I'm gonna jerry rig a temp control system for my the mash, is it?
His mash done, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was doing 1 gallon batches, man. I'm sorry.
It can't be that hard to scale up the electronic side of it.
No. So, all right, when you're doing a 1 gallon batch, you're putting in the same time and effort that you would do for like a 10 gallon batch.
Why not make
or a
10
5
gallons?
gallon batch. Like 1 gallon is just so inefficient. And your cost savings, you're looking at like $10.
It's like you have a 2x4 in your mouth.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You're all jealous.
Yeah, that's the word.
The rest of us aren't compensating
So-
for anything.
Those of you not watching on Twitch or YouTube, this is an Asylum 13 cigar. It's an 80 by 8, I believe, off the top of my head. Yeah, 80 by 8. And I originally smoked this cigar the first time at my buddy JJ's bachelor party, thinking it was just like a novelty cigar, you know, like the 80 ring Churchill that I've seen before. Like
You
there's-
could kill a horse with that.
No, fuck, no. No, seriously.
You
The
could
80
kill
ring
Mr.
Churchill
Hands
is
with
like
that.
this. It's stupid. You need a kickstand out on the front of this thing, and it's like, why? That's stupid. I saw this thing at the cigar shop. I'm like, oh, this is a novelty. I'm gonna smoke it to be funny. Blah blah blah. And it's actually a really really nice smoke. It's not too harsh. It's a Maduro, but it has a nice body to it. It's a very easy going. It doesn't kind of kick you in the back of the head at the end of the night with the amount of nicotine in it, versus some other cigars I've had out there. Now, Asylum also makes an Ogre, which I really want to try. It's a Maduro wrapped with a green leaf. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my
I
head.
feel like that
Barber
would
pole
just
style.
like cut too close to home for you there, bud.
Is it kind of like cannibalism? Like, which of your close relatives got ground up and put into that?
Nobody was ground up. It was just cut off.
Flayed.
Yeah, not to reference the conversation between me and Casey. The other was that last week?
That was when I was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Which I am
so
truly honored.
I was so drunk. So drunk.
I was quite honored to receive
got
a
a drunk
Casey
style.
drunk call. Yeah,
Yeah.
after all the high praise. I've been giving you.
Brian was pissed that he didn't get one. There's actually like a waiting list now of Casey drunk dials.
It's true.
Like, oh, we could still get a drunken call. It's just Casey going. I
I didn't. Well, I was watching Netflix. I was watching Rogue One for like the 5th time, and I didn't even notice my phone going off. And all of a sudden, I go to wrap up the end, and I turn my flashlight on so I could navigate back to my room. And oh, Casey called me. No voicemail. Okay, must not have been important. I kind of the next day, I'm like, he was hammered.
Yep. Yeah. No, so I was hanging out with a listener that night.
Listeners in Seattle?
Yeah. So I went out. I'll wait until Gordon's done throwing static into the microphone. No. So I went out to Seattle just like to go out to Seattle. You know, I'd never been. And hit the breweries, hit the like the big tourist spots and stuff. And then one of our listeners, actually a black belt patron, Andy Thompson, he was like, hey, when you're in Seattle, hit me up and I'll take you out to some breweries and whatnot. I ended up going to a few breweries, ended up drinking in a horse barn, ended up at like a house party.
All right.
It
Sounds like
was
a good
it was a
time.
weird night, and just hammered, just absolutely obliterated. We called Rick, we called Gordon.
Did you call Morty?
We did not call Morty. Damn it. He was more like, oh, geez, Rick, I don't know. But yeah, no, Seattle was a fun town. I really liked it.
What'd you do while you were out there besides the parties? I mean, hit any breweries out there? I know.
No,
it's
yeah.
not
So
your
I
first trip.
hit Cloudburst, which was a lot of fun. I hit Pike Brewing, which is right in Pike Market, and I went to a brew pub. Are you guys okay over there? No, all right.
No, Gordon's trying to eat your mic.
I mean, I'm glad that this isn't my show. No, so then I went. So the first night I got there, I saw there was a brew pub literally 500 feet from the hotel. So that's where I went, and I sat down, and I was like, "Hey, man, here's what's gonna happen. I just got to town. You guys are 2 hours ahead of me. I know it's only 7 o'clock here. It's 9 o'clock at home. I'm dog tired. I'm just going to sit here and drink until I can't anymore and then meander back. Can you help me with this problem?" And so he's like, "Yeah, man, yeah." It was literally his first day. And so I had 6 or 8 pints there, had some really good paella. He's also like this dude, he runs he works on one of those like tourist ships that take you out into the bay, and like they do like big tour stuff. And he was like, at the end of the night, he gives me his number, and he's like, "If you want to go on a free boat tour, call this number." And I was like, I might. I did not, because I just didn't have time to go on a boat tour.
Don't blame me there.
But I don't know, it would have been fun. But yeah, no, it was a good night. Then the next day, I went to the Starbucks roastery, reserve roastery, where they do all their special blends. It tasted like Starbucks.
What?
Did you see where they grind up the unicorns for their?
No, they didn't
special
have.
Frappuccino?
They didn't have the unicorn grindery there. I was a little disappointed. Then I hit a few breweries. I had a lot of really good seafood.
Any highlight beers at those breweries that you went to?
Not really. So Cloudburst is all like East Coast IPAs, and so just like juicy and really good. Other than that, it was just like it all kind of blends together. It's beer. Didn't really have anything barrel aged. Didn't have anything phenomenal, but it was all local, and it all had its own unique flavor.
See, I wonder if those West Coast hops that you can get out of it, especially out of the Northeast or Northwest, excuse me, taste any better or different compared to, I mean, out here you get the Mosaic and Citra, blah blah, but I mean, if you're getting Mosaic and Citra 1, 2, or 3 days old, I wonder.
Well,
if
but
it's
see,
any
you
better.
can't it's all hop contracts.
Oh,
And so it's all baled, and like so nothing. You're not getting anything super fresh or super different out there.
do they have any hop strains out there that are, not contract, that are like, hey, this is what we
I mean,
grow,
it's kind
this is our
of.
shtick.
I mean, it's kind of like around here where if there's like a small local hop farmer doing stuff, like John, so somebody like John out there would sell local hops like that.
Sure.
But I don't know if I could taste the difference.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah,
No. Well,
but-
I suppose that'd be more in the wet hop side of
Yeah.
things.
What I did like is the weather out there. They thought it was cold as shit, but it was 40 degrees. And so, like, I'm walking around and, like, I have my big winter coat on. I'm like, I overdressed. And so the city is super walkable. Like, I probably walked 6-7 miles a day, but, like, it was just like, well, 5 blocks to this place, 5 blocks to this place.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean the only
like
the
Louisville.
only issue is like there's a big homeless problem, and it's getting worse now. Like the property is going up because of all the tech moving up there, and
Yeah, it's kind of like when I went and visit Louisville, I stayed far enough outside of the main drag, Bourbon Row, I believe is what they call it, Bourbon Lane. Anyway, so there's like the main
I
drag
think it's
of
Bourbon Avenue.
yeah. The main drag of Louisville, I stayed just far enough off there that I didn't have to pay the price tag for it, but I could get a $6-7 Uber on to the main street, and I could literally, I walked from one end to the other and hit 5 distilleries that had their showrooms on that main street, and 3 breweries, and including the Louisville Slugger Hall of Fame. But I'd say the two of my favorites were the Evan Williams experience, and then Against the Grain Brewery, which is in the stadium down there. Which the beer there was out of this fucking world, and I talked to the guys. I said, hey, by the way, I'm from Wisconsin. I'm going back home tomorrow, and one of the things we do is we grab bottles from across, outside of our little 3-state area, and share them with each other. Is there anything you guys have in bottles that aren't released yet that I could bring home? And the guy's like, yeah, hold on. And he comes back with 3 bombers of shit that's not coming out for like
awesome.
another 2 months. And he goes, I didn't sell these to you if anybody asked. I'm like, mum's a word.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What beer? I didn't see any beer.
One thing I do want to do, I want to give a shout out to Emmett Watson's Oyster Bar. Best fucking place I ate the entire time I was out there. It's this little dive bar off Pike Market. Fucking when they're at lunch, nobody's there, because like it's tucked away in this like weird little corner where like homeless people are peeing in the bathrooms, and like it's real like dirty and danky. Like you go in there and it's like Emma's in River Falls, but
Like the pre-remodel.
pre-remodel. But they
gonna
have
remodel?
the best oysters in town. Like
See, I'm not.
great oysters, good like cheap.
I don't like oysters.
But
it's a texture thing.
I don't understand.
It's a weird mouth. Mine is the only time I've liked oysters was at Pearl and the Thief when they were now they're in Minneapolis. They used to be in Stillwater. They bought all the paint from my store over there, and so they had me, my manager, and my full timer come down, and they kind of did this cool little sampling of drinks and food, and they're like, "Oh yeah, here's our spicy oyster shot." And I'm looking at, I see this oyster floating on top of this tomato juice and other things on top of it, and I'm like, well,
They had one that you would like.
I'm here. And I took it, and there was enough flavor going on with it that it was enough to distract me away from the texture.
So they had broiled oysters as well.
And I had
Where
broiled.
so they took the oyster like you would normally do it, but instead of raw, they put marinara, cheese, and bacon, and then threw it under a broiler.
I could get behind that.
Right. So you got a little bit of seafood, and then the Italian flavor, and then some bacon.
I could
Can't go wrong
definitely
with
get
that.
behind that. That I think would be tasty.
Yeah, that and like just ice cold beer.
I was just talking to one of my customers. He was on. Where the hell did he go? That they're just East Coast somewhere. They're hunting. They're duck hunting, but there's this huge oyster or clam. One of the two. I think oyster. No,
Clams would be
clams.
Yeah.
Clam bed basically in the sand, where the limit is like 12 pounds a day per person. And
You
you're
can
not,
only have 12 pounds of clams.
Yeah. In shell.
Okay.
But I mean, you're not even making a dent in them in this particular area. And it's like a 5, 6, 7 mile stretch of shoreline. And so you get there before sunrise, before legal hunting. You go dig up as many clams as you can fit in your sack and go back to your blind and sit down and shuck
eat
oysters, shuck clams for the rest of the day until you see the ducks flying. And it's like, oh, I don't like clams.
But I like eating.
Yes. And I fidget. So it's like, well, if you're going to take me duck hunting, I have to sit
It's
there
like
for 4 hours.
pistachios, but better for you.
Right, yeah. It's like, oh, if I eat clams, I can make gains at the gym and I can fidget at the same time. Well, I suppose. Why
And
not?
clams. So really, the only difference between clams and oysters is the shell.
Yeah.
Like,
But
one,
again, it's that texture. I don't like the texture.
you don't like the snotty,
No.
but it's like a shooter,
Just open your throat, it goes down easy.
Yeah.
and it's an aphrodisiac, Gordon. Like,
Yeah, because that's what I need, obviously.
He's got no use for that.
well, that seems like a personal failing.
I live alone, so no. There's a question in there.
There's not a question in the chat.
No, I had a question before I started before you went on that, and now I can't remember.
I will answer any question you have for me, man. I have a lot of
I'll
answers.
come back to it.
Did you go to
Yeah.
LA?
No, that is this week.
That's coming
Yep.
up this week.
Yeah, I'm heading to LA on Friday.
Okay. Did you get my message? I sent you. A buddy of mine's a brewer out there.
Yeah.
He was at Carl Strauss, and now he's at like Brewery X or something.
Okay.
But I don't think they're open. I thought they were open, but it seems like they are building the facility.
Oh shit! So they're not even brewing yet.
I don't think so. I think they're just getting their
Where
big
LA? You said?
spots in.
Yeah.
How far is LA from San Diego?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. There's a joint in the Redlands of California.
That is not the same area.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not?
inland.
That's inland more? Okay.
I think.
Anyway, there's a brewery there called Escape Brewing, and my manager's cousin owns and runs that joint.
Is it like a brewery and an escape room at the same time?
No.
No, it's just a brewery that Gordon runs.
No,
and you
no,
have
but
to
they-
escape from him.
Jackass.
I'm sorry. Everybody thought
So-
that was funny.
His cousin runs more of the business side of things, but the master brewer comes up with really cool names for all the beers, like referencing 1970s, 80s bands and movies and stuff like that. Well, this last spring or early summer, they had Great White Pale Ale or something like that. Well, the band Great White actually came to the brewery and played live.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, and they've been wanting to. When I was talking to him and talking to his cousin, they want to set up some sort of beer trade with Pitchfork and them, and just trying to coordinate between laws of both states is
Yeah.
kind of a pain in the arse, but so be it.
Yeah, no, like that's really cool. No, yeah, that's awesome. One of my goals, like we're talking about 2019, right?
Yes.
So one of my goals of 2019 is to every month take one trip to someplace I have never been. And so far, I mean, I started early by going to Seattle, and then I'm going to LA. I've actually never been to Green Bay.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm doing that in February.
Go to Titletown. Titletown
yep,
Brewery.
Yeah.
And just south of there, there's Lion's Tail Brewing. It's about 30 minutes south in a town called Neenah. You need to go there.
Neenah?
Yeah, Neeahah.
All right.
I believe off the top, or Neea. Anyway,
Yeah, and then
Look at
Gordon,
Lion Tail
you're,
Burn.
you're gonna have to start talking to Carlos about producing for the month of May again, because I'm off across the pond yet
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, cheating bastard. Oh, I'm just gonna go visit Europe for a month because poor me. Blah blah blah.
I have never said poor me about visiting Europe.
That sounds like a lot of jealousy, Gordon.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of quality assurance that needs to happen, and I'm the most qualified person to do that.
Spearheading the expansion into Europe over here, and
I have to figure out where we're gonna set up the BNS office in Europe. So I have to do a lot of visiting. I'm checking out Amsterdam this time. We're gonna see if it'll work over there. I don't know. They might not take to us very well. We'll see.
right. If they listen to any of these shows. Well, I suppose Europe is actually listening to Rules Arena, which I don't know. Casey, I think I was talking to you. You got a lot of traction down in Australia.
Yeah, no, Australia is on my either late 2019 or early 2020 list.
I was looking at my social media stats, and 7% of the folks that listen or will follow me consistently.
Stop it.
Wow.
You just want to keep
Deadpool over here, breaking the third wall or fourth wall.
Fourth wall, Gordon.
Yeah, no, there's 4 of them, and if you break the third one, that's still on camera.
Thinking comics, goddammit. It's a third wall in comics.
No, it's still the 4th one.
No, it's not.
Yeah, and the 4th wall is the comic panel viewing
up.
the viewer.
Nobody likes you.
Well, I mean, you're not
So
wrong.
7% of the people that follow me consistently on Facebook and Instagram and everything actually come out of Russia. Why? I don't know.
Because
They
there's
want
nothing else
you
to do.
to be the next Donald Trump.
No. I will not wear a toupee like that.
Do you have a PP tape?
I had to use the fisheye lens on it. Ben, what have you been up to?
What a wonderful segue, Gordon.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Been working on that one for months.
I have had a fantastic Christmas vacation. I was off work for 2.5.
It doesn't sound like
2.5
it was.
weeks.
I thought you had some sort of death disease.
I did, but I wasn't at work, so that's all right.
Wait, so a death disease is better than work?
Yes.
I'm so glad you're leaving that job.
Just being able to be at my parents at the home farm, as it were, and just relax, even though I was dying for most of it, was fantastic. Other than the death disease, it was a good preview of what life will be like once I'm officially done.
I
with
saw
the
your
university.
YouTube video.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Where I announced that I'm officially done in 2 weeks.
You're goddamn, I'm going to spin a can on a... Jesus Christ.
Hey, that's fantastic. And if anyone else wants to be the unofficial official beer sponsors of In the Shop with Ben and Glenn, we're always open.
So where can people find you on YouTube?
On YouTube, they can find me at Duck Hill Workshop. You can also find me on Instagram at Duck Hill Workshop and on Facebook at Duck Hill Workshop.
You are super
or,
consistent.
again, on my website at duckhillworkshop.com. One of us knows how to run SEO.
Literally one. Because I got told that Blind Ninja Studios was too long for Twitter.
It's not too fucking long. Jesus Christ.
That's why we went for Blind Ninja.
That's
for
why I
Ninja.
was actually
Oh.
running late tonight. Is ran into regular up at Pitchfork. I
Which
hadn't
one?
Seen Roger.
I don't know that one.
He comes in for 2 beers. It's his anyway.
Oh yeah, Roger. Yeah.
He came in, and I hadn't seen him since probably a month and a half, 2 months before I moved to Spooner. And so we got to talking and blah, blah, blah. And all. He goes, oh, yeah, I listen to podcasts all the time. I'm like, really? Turns out he had a career in computer programming kind of stuff for the longest time. And so he's way ahead of the game than I've ever been. And
He wanted me to do a computer programming trivia night.
Yeah.
And I told him I would love to, but everybody else would kill me.
Because everyone, and literally the score would be like, Roger, all of the answers. Everybody else.
So what's
Nothing.
the difference from any other trivia night, though? That's what I want to know.
Somebody else wins.
It's true. Or gets to split. We were pretty
so,
happy
yeah, so
winning
me and
with
him got
20
a-
points. Splitting with 20 points.
20 is really good. That's
we tied-
50%.
We tied when you were there.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We split with another team.
But
I'm
no,
surprised you guys didn't go for the all or nothing.
I wanted to. Nobody else at my table did.
I wanted to be guaranteed beer. I was not risking that.
I was willing to risk it.
I know you would be.
Yeah, but you could have been guaranteed double beer.
Yeah, see?
But I also could have been guaranteed no beer.
Actually, there was no guarantee. You're right. You're
Yeah.
risking guaranteed beer for double beer or no beer.
Yeah. I'll take guaranteed beer. We all got a beer.
That's true. Yeah. No, it worked out really well.
Gordon.
So anyway, me and him got talking, and I mentioned that I had to leave for podcast. Bob like, oh, what podcast do you do? And I mentioned DOO and ROA, and yeah, sure enough, he pulls it up on his phone. And, oh, hey, look there! I'm like, holy shit, that's the fastest anybody has found my show.
I do a really good job to try to hide it.
Yeah, thank you. I can tell.
Blind Ninja Studios, affiliate shows, scroll. Oh, there. Scroll.
Yeah. Well, Pandora rejected my application.
I totally forgot I submitted a Pandora application. I should probably look at
They're
that.
supposed to contact you. If they didn't, it might not be on there. So I went and searched manually. Nothing there. I've tried to search iHeartRadio on mobile. No luck. I want to try again on
The
my
Spotify
laptop.
one's up.
Yeah, Spotify's
Yeah,
up.
Spotify works
That
in-
and I've kind of left podcast. If anyone there happens to listen to this, your app sucks on mobile. Fix it. So I'm not 3 episodes deep, and all of a sudden it shuts down for the next 2 fucking days. when you fix that, I will come back.
What
Because
podcast app do you use?
podcast, it's called Castbox. Excuse me. And it was great for the first year and a half that I've used it. And then they didn't update. And all of a sudden, I'm like, listen, shut down. Like the whole app crashes. I'm like, really? Come on, guys, fix
Yeah,
this.
I use Pocket Cast, man. You're on Android, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pocket
Well, now
Cast
I'm
is where it's
on.
at.
Now I'm using Spotify because they have all the podcasts I've listened to that I was on Castbox, so I'm happy there. iTunes. I've had a lot of people come talk to me and say, "Hey, it's great that you're on iTunes now. A lot easier to find you."
You've been on iTunes since pretty much day one.
I know that, but I'm new. Once in March, like seriously, 2,000 people download my episodes. Like what? 1,999 of you didn't have anything better to do that day, or what? What's going on?
Well, I mean, that's total. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's across 16 episodes.
Yeah, which is
It's 100 downloads.
that's about.
more than 100 an episode.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad.
I
I'm
was
just-
expecting
I'm just
like
saying,
one
like,
download an episode, and that was going to be me. 2 maybe from my mom because she's listened to like 3 of them.
Oh, don't worry, I have them on other download too.
Oh, perfect. Hey, we're up to 3 listeners.
I just programmed a bot. I was gonna watch it 8
I
times.
knew that's where there's my 7% of Russian media coming through.
That's what I do with my YouTube videos. I just put them on on play auto loop in the background when I'm at work. That's what's the benefit of having 3 monitors running. You just put them all over here. Put whatever else I'm doing on top of it, and just let them roll.
But no, it's been fun. For 16 episodes, which were really only the first, I'd say 5 or 6 that I talked to people beforehand, said, yes, I will commit to this at some point.
Though, so we have a new intro coming out eventually this year.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, because Brian yelled at Gordon and told him the same thing I told him in the first place.
Yeah.
And, and he decides to listen to Brian and not me.
Because Brian was a little bit more vocal than you were and swore at me a lot until I agreed.
Did
Well-
Gordon quit doing the actual speech at the beginning?
No. Yeah, well, I did quit
He
that.
needs to do it again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, because it explains what the podcast is
Exactly.
Yeah, and Brian from Hop and Barrel, episode 9, 10.
about. Just listen to any new episode of Homebrew Bound.
Yeah,
True.
well
And you
that
can,
too.
You can listen to some more Brian. Actually, you
Or-
listen to Sober
or-
Brian and then listen to DOO, and you can drunk Brian.
And you could also listen to Rules of the Arena
With Bitmad.
with Bitmad, which was awesome.
Those are really. Yeah, he was the sandwich boy.
Yeah.
So since you're making yourself a
Yeah,
sandwich,
John.
make everybody a sandwich.
Episode 13 was with Brian because it's Brian and then Stonehill with John and then
Yep.
Bitman. But Brian was a lot of fun to talk to, and I threw up a post on Instagram like, "Hey folks, I'm looking to find guests for 2019. If you're interested, get a hold of me, or if you know somebody, take them below." Blah blah. And Brian sent me a message. And he said, "Hey, what are you looking for? What's the podcast about?" And I sent him the Man in the Arena speech excerpt, and he goes, "Holy fuck, that's me! Blah blah. You got to do that. You have to have that in this. I mean, it needs to be that, but shorter. But it needs to be all be there." Blah blah. And this is like a 3-hour thing between me and him. And I'm like, fine, I'll put it back in the speech. And then I'm thinking, and I started looking at or listening to YouTube videos where people read the same excerpt, and it only took about a minute and change, not much.
You
after
had
that.
yours done in 30 seconds.
But that was only part of it. We cut out a good chunk.
That's true. Because
And-
you only wanted to say so many words. And you're like, nobody wants to hear my voice, but I'm going to have a podcast.
I don't know what you're talking about. So
That's a weird juxtaposition, Gordon.
So-
you don't want to have the 30 seconds of you being the intro, but you want people to
I
listen
want to be
for
a
an
host
hour.
on podcast because I'm banking on the guests talk more than I do. So then I cornered Brian at Hop and Barrel the other week, and I said, "Hey, Brian, you should be the voice of my intro." He goes, "Oh yeah, okay, cool." And actually through him, he put me in touch with their graphic designer for Hop and Barrel, Julie Getz. I really hope I'm saying her name right.
Her art's awesome.
Yeah. And so I shot her a quick email saying, and some rough sketches of design ideas that I have, and said, this is kind of what I just like. I can't draw stick people. If you put a gun to my head, please fix. And she goes,
Please fix.
yeah. And she goes, holy shit, this is like 90% more than what anybody else sends me. This is perfect. And sent me 3 different mock-ups and back. And
Is that what you sent Justin and I?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
So I'm not married to the color by any stretch.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of trying.
I like the black and white.
I'm
I
glad that
like
you
it.
guys are in on the conversation.
I'll show you after. I really like. I'm trying to pick out the layout,
Yeah,
not so much
yep.
the colors.
Right?
design.
No, I understand. They were good. They were really good designs. I think you should stay with the black and white color scheme.
Well, half of it is for marketing purposes.
yeah.
The other part is, do I want to do a T-shirt line again with that logo?
Yes, you do, because I want to print it for you.
In that case, then yes, I do. Because I remember the bills that I've got for printing the other old logos, which I'm happy I did, but at the same time, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, we'll get really, really drunk and print all your T-shirts.
Wait, you have t-shirt printing? We
I
need
do.
to talk.
Yeah.
We gotta figure this shit out.
And then Cody and Allison, episode 7, are also interested in that.
Sweet.
Putting their logo on the back, my logo on the front.
Yeah, as long as they're simple, like one color logos.
Yeah.
we can definitely do
Yeah,
it.
that's
I'm,
all I wanna
I'm way too lazy to try and do a
I've
multicolor.
I've noticed I can do multicolor at this point.
Are you doing like screen? Like, and I'm just really
Yeah,
curious.
no,
Are you
no,
doing
no,
like screen printing or?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have a whole full blown, not just like a screen and a table. It's a full T-shirt thing. It's got the
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I haven't set it up, but I got the platen to do like an all over print. So it's huge. You can put like a sweatshirt or a full T-shirt on and do like collar to hem.
Nice.
My biggest thing
Have you
is,
seen the? I'm sorry.
No, no,
Gordon.
no.
Like,
Just please interrupt me.
So Hop and Barrel has had like the on-site T-shirt printing.
Really?
Have you seen that?
No.
So yeah, they've had this guy come in and like he has he has like 3 or 4 designs that he'll do for that event and like just do it on site. Like,
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want this T-shirt? All right, I'll print it up for you. Like
That's
I'll do
awesome.
the screen print right here. Wait for it to dry and there you go. Like
That's cool.
which does remind me, I had a few people contact me post. I can't remember what episode. That were asking about the arena shirts and sweatshirts and everything because
so
they heard me
comfy.
mention it.
They're so comfy.
I'm glad. Oh no,
what's the
I'm-
big sweatshirt that you use?
It's not Port Authority. I can't remember the name of the company I was using for that. I wasn't happy with the sweatshirt. It didn't hold, the material didn't hold up as well as I wanted it to, and it shrunk more than I wanted to, and I didn't like the I guess collars.
The cuff.
Good.
The cuff.
Good sweatshirts are really fucking expensive.
Yeah. So I wanted to go. I was stupid happy with the T-shirts when they came out. That was a company. I'm loving it.
I'm so hungry now.
Yeah, I can't think of the. I will think of the name of the company later for the T-shirts and Division. No. Anyway, they were the same company for women T-shirts, and I went with Hanes for men's tank tops. And those I was really happy with. I wanted to go back to the drawing board with the sweatshirts. The print shop that I was going through, which is actually out of here, out of River Falls Imaging World. If anybody needs
They're good.
shirts from them, they're awesome, great to work with. They check and double check and triple check with you before they print anything. The service is amazing. I have nothing wrong to say bad about them. But afterwards, I had a few people contact me like, "Hey, I want to grab a sweatshirt or I want to grab a T-shirt from you. Where's your store?" I pulled it down because I got into a little bit of a fight with FedEx on shipping and my account with them. Nothing with you as my customers. Nothing wrong there. So I just
I have a
pulled
story
everything-
about FedEx for you off the air.
Perfect. Well, I was
I
really
can't-
happy with
I
them.
can't share because we're not at a legal dispute yet, but
Perfect. No, my friend from college, she was my rep for the longest time, and then she got a promotion and she left, and then my new rep never contacted me. And then they're like, oh, you owe us money. I'm like, oh, I'm happy to pay. So I go in the store and I go to pay it. And they're like, oh, you have to go online. I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid, since I kind of run the same gambit with my company. But you can pay in fucking store. So I went home. I go to log in. I'm like, oh, what's your account number? And I plug in my account number, and they're like, no account found. I'm like, well,
Okay.
you're saying I owe you money under this account number, so fucking log. So
Hey,
that went on.
if no account's found and
no
you
money is owed.
no money is owed.
I wish. So that's where the fight ended, and I'm kind of done with you, FedEx. So if you're listening, anyone up there that can make things happen, get a hold of me. I'd be willing to pay my bill. I'm done doing work with you.
On the record, Blind Ninja Studios has nothing to do with FedEx one way or another. We are completely ambivalent.
And I'm bitter.
If our listeners haven't figured that out by now.
Yeah. And petty.
Yes.
That's okay. Gordon is just two angry short people
In
on
a
top of
trench
each other in a trench coat.
I don't know. I think there's a third one wrapped around the middle to hold them together.
That's my belt. So I pulled the store down. People are asking me about it. And back on November 19th, I want to say, Ben and Justin, who's been on the show before, came out and helped me. I ran a charity
That was a lot of fun,
raffle
by the way.
event. Thank you. I had a blast doing it. A good friend of mine who I had been training in martial arts with and teaching with, and watch his kids grow up through that, was in a really bad car wreck with his sister and brother-in-law. And so he's the kind of guy that would give his shirt off his own back to help you out, and he could know you for 30 seconds. So as soon as I heard what happened, I'm like, I need to do something to help him out. I want to help him out. So we organized a little charity event, and Ben and Justin, who I messaged immediately, like, hey, I want to put this together. Do you guys don't mind donating like 3 or 4 prints for this event to auction off? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And the two of them show up with like 100 goddamn prints.
That's amazing.
It was probably like 30 between the two of us.
No, it was way more than that. Minimum 50.
Do you have a check tool?
No.
No, god damn it. I don't know where mine is.
Oh,
I'll just use my car key.
Just use my pocket knife.
So we did that, and a bunch of other people came together out of the community and helped. Donate items for this whole
I don't
thing.
want that.
It was a huge blast. The turnout was way better than I could have expected. And I was able to present the money to the family and be like, hey, you know what? It's not enough to pay any bill, but put it away when you guys are all feeling better. Go out and have a good time.
I don't know if you want to talk about this on air or not, but I've heard some stories about like some people trying to attach to that from the other side that were like, it seemed like just like when you do a charity event, there's these people who like just try to latch on and
I didn't have any. The only person, let's see, there's only one person that reached out to me. Well, 2 people reached out to me like, hey, I want to get involved. One of them, like, hey, I have these donation ideas, which I do, and I explained it to them. They're like, oh, I thought it was going to be an auction. I said, no, it's a raffle. She's like, well, hold on, let me rethink what I want to donate. I'm like, yeah, no, absolutely. So she still brought a bunch of stuff to the table, which I thought was awesome. I had one other person get a hold of me, pissed off that it was not an auction, and told me I needed to redo the whole thing a week and a half away from the event. And since I am such a level-headed person,
that is the adjective I would use to describe you.
yes, we had
Said
words.
nobody.
And
you
the
want to try some of this Old
conversation
Dublin?
Sure.
And the conversation ended with me saying, if you want to run a charity event, go organize the fucking thing yourself. Because I was still doing ROA at the time, Rules of the Arena, this show. I work a full-time job. I just moved. I was moving into a new position within my company, on top of trying to organize a charitable event for one of my good friends.
Yeah,
and
trying
his
to
family.
contact you in that period of time was a real bitch.
Well, yeah, because you were in a period of transition. You were doing all of this other stuff. Like,
So I was mildly pissed off when somebody told me that I was doing something wrong. When it came to something that I was organizing and volunteering on my own time.
I mean, to be fair, you were probably fucking up somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. I don't doubt. That's the first time I've tried to run a charity event. And
I mean, we didn't have enough space, and like we didn't have enough.
I blame
name-
Pitchfork for not doing the expansion since then.
No, I think we had plenty of space to set up. We just also some of us showed up with more than we were asked to.
Hey, yeah, and it was off the cuff. Moving down the road, it's certainly something I'd like to do if I could get in touch with some sort of nonprofit out there that actually helps people. So Red Cross, Susan Coleman, and what's that? Wounded Warrior. You're all off the gate, so go away. If you're funding millions of dollars into your own pocket, you can fuck off. I'm not going to deal with you. But I mean, local charities.
I will if you will donate millions of dollars into my pocket.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, local
I
charities.
will sell out.
So if you happen to listen to this and you know of a local charity in the Midwest that actually helps people, I have a pile of shirts and like 2 sweatshirts that I'd like to donate. But I'd like to do something like that every year. I think that'd be fun to, a way to draw people together and help a local business out, like a local brewery, whether it's Pitchfork, Swing Bridge, Brush River, Hop Marrow, whatever the case may be. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Despite all the stress, I'm one of those type that like hurry up and wait, and I'm really bad at
Gordon-
the waiting part.
So what I've learned about the past year that we've been working together.
Year December.
Yeah. Okay.
December was the first episode with Ben.
So the past year we've been working together is you
I'm
really
a pain
like
in your ass.
No. I mean, you are.
Let's not let that one go.
Let's not let that one go. But no, you really like to bitch about being busy and like being like, oh, I mean, this is a lot of fucking work, but you really like to just have a lot of work going on.
Yes, because it's
You like to bitch about it, but you like the more work you have going on, the happier you are.
No, I relaxed once, and that was the worst 30 seconds of my life.
That's when I get really sick. Like that's whenever I'm.
So
off work.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you stop complaining about being so busy, I think you'll be a lot happier.
No, I'm happy being
you'd probably
busy.
get less done though.
No, not
No, just
necessarily.
be busy. Just don't bitch about it.
No, if I have that proverbial gun to the back of my head, like I need to get 100 things done today, I will get them done. I will not be happy until I get them done.
No, and like I'm the same way. I have to have at least like 10 things to do.
Yeah.
And
Because
if
when
I
you get bored with one thing, you can.
I can just keep moving on to something else.
Yep.
Like
No,
I spent the past 3 weeks. So we have Legends of Lothos on Department of Defense. Since we've been down, I have been completely rewriting software on our end to run everything on OBS and Twitch through a third-party web or like my own website. So like I can just like switch camera views and stuff with a touch of a
Nice.
button. So I'm hoping to make it idiot-proof enough where I can just give that to Gordon. He can switch cams and
Do you know what happens when you make something idiot-proof?
we make a better idiot.
yeah.
That's what literally. I came across that when I was
His name is Gordon.
literally.
Well, no, but if I can get it to Gordon and it
Works.
works for him, then I know it's good.
Yeah, that's true. That is
No,
solid.
but and so it's
I
stuff
should
like
let
that.
Gordon
where,
lose at work.
I just keep adding more stuff onto my own plate.
No,
Well, that's kind of. I'm in the same boat. You know, I'm about to be self-employed, and you can. There's 2 ways to be self-employed. You can sit around and wait for other people to be like, "Hey,
Do this thing,
yeah, will you come and do this thing?"
or
And
you
then
can.
just make stuff. Like if you're not, I feel like being self-employed is kind of a perpetual motion machine. If you just, if you just sit and twiddle your thumbs, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like you have to constantly be making.
And I
something
remember
then
being
stuff
self-employed,
happens.
painting houses for a living, and I had friends like, "Oh, you can take the night off." Blah, blah. I'm like, "No, no, I cannot." And talking to a lot of my all my the customers I work with are all self-employed, and there's this kind of misnomer that, and Ben, I'm sure you will know, or if not already, you just can't take time off. Like you can't, if you want to take a week off, you work 80 hours on one side and you work 80 hours on the front side of that. And that's the way it is, because it's your name attached to that brand. And
Or you really have to build it into your schedule.
Yeah.
Like
if you build it in, and you have to be like, all right, this is a thing that I value over being busy. But I'm one of those people who, like, I don't know. I take vacations 3 days at a time, and that's enough.
Well, yeah, and you have to figure out what's your time. How much time can you do to reset, and what works for you.
Yeah, even my vacations, it's go. Like sitting on a beach is not a vacation for me. I need to be experiencing something, like coming back with a story for the podcast, or like doing something for work, or just furthering myself in some way.
Yep. That's what probably this Christmas break was the least that I've done on a holiday, partly because I was
You had the death illness.
Yeah, I had the death illness, so a lot of that was just living on the couch at my parents'. But at the same time, like, I spent all that because they gave me the death illness. I spent a lot of time playing with my niece and nephew. I'm like, well, I guess, like, you're immune at this point. It's not like I'm going to get you sick.
And if I do, that's justice.
My niece and nephew yesterday, the two youngest, just figure out that I am a jungle gym.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's an experience.
Wait, you're a jungle gym?
To them, I am, because they just figure out
Casey's
I'm
the
strong
right
enough
size.
to
He
throw
probably-
them around and like catch
Just
them.
because I'm short.
Yeah, no, that's fun. But, like, normally, yeah, taking a vacation, like, I would be, last year over Christmas vacation, I spent 3 days chainsaw milling, like our first big run of chainsaw milling. And this year I spent most of that, I was on the couch dying, but I was also designing the timber frame cabin that I want to build out of all the trees that are down at my parents' house, and a little saw yard.
I do want to come help you out with that, by the way.
Good, because it's not fun to do by yourself.
It'll be easier after the lakes. I can't walk on anymore because after catching those two northern yesterday, I kind of got a fish fever. You want to come up this weekend?
No, I don't. I don't enjoy ice fishing.
No, it's because nobody does. Anybody who says they enjoy ice fishing is lying to themselves.
Well, the problem is, so I kind of went in reverse.
It's real fun if you catch something.
No, I went in the reverse of, so I got invited to the cabin from Brian.
Yeah, so you're going for the Frosty.
Yeah, and I didn't have any way to stay warm up there. So I'm like, oh, here's this ice fishing brand jacket. It's going to cost me 3 months worth of savings. All right, I'm going to buy it. And then maybe in like next year, I will buy the overall bibs to go with it. Well, as soon as my mother, who worries about everything, found out that I'm going to be on a frozen lake, despite there being 14 inches of ice on the ground or on the lake, she's like, "Hey, you're going to fall."
That's not a Gordon amount of ice.
Have you seen the scale? Have you seen the cartoon about how thick the ice should be? And it goes like, a person needs 3 inches of ice, a truck needs 8 inches of ice, and like
And
Godzilla
Gordon
needs like 10 feet of ice.
Yeah.
And then Gordon.
Yeah. So, my mom for Christmas last year got me the overall bibs.
Oh.
So yesterday, I was out fishing. It was with my brother and his
you got a nice
two
fish.
brother-in-laws. I was sitting on just a little folding chair, little camping chair, out on the ice. The wind's blowing to my back, and I just kind of tucked my collars up over so my ears weren't getting hit. And I had a jig pole in my hand, and it's like, I started to fall asleep. I hate the cold. Anything below 72 degrees is too damn cold, and I start to get irritable. I was cozy.
The cold is too damn low.
Is that why you're angry all the time?
Yes.
It's just because it's not 72 or higher?
And there's stupid
Hey,
people.
Gordon, move to Florida.
I was going to say, this is the man who's proud of being from Wisconsin.
I am. I am
It
born.
doesn't sound like he is.
I don't think so either.
So my hatred of cold is only second to my hatred of anything south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Except for,
Oh.
like, Louisville.
So you are straight up doomed never to be happy.
Yes.
Yes.
And you've set yourself up that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
On
Unless I were to
purpose.
move to Montana into the Rockies. I can deal with the cold out there.
No, I feel like you would still be unhappy.
no,
You'd
because-
find a way.
No. Because there will be no one within like a 15-mile range of me,
Oh, yeah, no, but then you have to hang out with yourself.
which is perfect.
No, I
Which
mean,
is why I moved
trust
north
the rest
of, 8.
of us.
No. I moved north of 8.
We all hang out with you.
I haven't been happier since I moved. No, it's great.
Neither have we.
Remember, folks, it's your friends you keep.
Dude, you showed up and broke my mic. Like,
Oh, but I brought my own.
which I had to replace mid-interview.
Well, technically, I broke the cord, not the microphone.
Yeah, but it's funnier if I said the one thing.
Yeah. I'm just, yeah.
You know, just,
Can I see his microphone, please?
I mean, sure.
It's a nice mic.
It's a very nice mic.
I didn't really think too much of it until I've seen a half dozen different radio and TV shows that have been using the same microphone. I'm like, son of a bitch, that's my microphone.
I told you.
Yeah.
No,
When I
it's-
saw that this was for
No.
sale.
And it,
I was super mad. When you decided at the last minute and didn't tell me that you were going to actually come through and buy it. Because I fucking want it.
it's a
No, it's a really good mic. You just,
I just
you
need
need
the-
a shock mount.
yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what.
And the
it
shock
is,
mount,
but
like, this would fit.
That's what I was trying to see.
Like, it would.
I just didn't know how to like
gonna
in
fuck
between
with this one.
shows. Yeah. I couldn't tell you what fucking mic it is. It's just my. One
It's
of
an
my,
EV RE20.
that one. My buddy's wife, who works at a university that's getting closed, unfortunately, is selling off their equipment for like
That's tight, but it'll work.
next to nothing.
Yeah.
This is what, a $700, $800 mic retail. you
It's
said?
like 5.
That's what you said in the text message, the original message, months ago. Regardless, it's a really fucking expensive mic that I got for $250.
But that's a good price.
Yeah,
It's a very good price.
and I
That's about half off.
You should have bought 6 of them.
They're $450
They didn't have-
retail.
okay. So I got one for what, 60% off?
I mean, like half.
No, a little more than that. 55%.
If we're really, like,
Irregardless,
had we done that, then everything would have been fine.
in hindsight. Next time.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Next time on the 27th. No, 20th when I'm here.
Yeah.
I will be officially unemployed.
Sweet. So you're gonna be here on the 20th for
He'll
my
be
show,
fun
yeah?
employed.
Unemployed, yeah.
I gotta, yeah. Oh, for 2019 guests, I have 20 of them lined up already.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Who's
Let's
coming
talk about that because we're an hour in. And we haven't
Christ.
talked about anything.
Which is good. That's fine. That's the whole point of these cigar episodes.
I thought this was DOO again.
up? Casey's over here having flashbacks.
Like, oh no, shit!
that no
Time
well,
for the
okay.
news.
Casey, mute me.
So, to my less than dedicated listeners of the show, that's what these cigar episodes are going to be. Just a chance for us to kind of shoot the shit and relax for a bit. Real no point. Hopefully, more of you will get on Twitch and talk to us, and we'd be happy to.
readjust all this shit. I
Yes, he will.
probably do.
A chance for us to just kind of relax and shoot the shit and talk and not have anything really on schedule at all. Not that we do anyways. But for 2019, people I'm looking to, I'm gonna talk to All Points North LLC or Kona Joe. He teaches private security lessons, kind of or corporate security now, after retiring from the FBI.
What's the FBA, man?
Where's this sessionable stout coming from?
Oh, that's right. I have to adjust a bunch of shit
Oh,
because
do
you
you
changed mics. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have to change anything. Like I don't know my fucking board. Fuck you.
I'm channeling years of musicians doing the exact same thing to me.
You don't have to change anything. We're just gonna bring our own mics.
I don't like your microphone. I'm going to use my microphone. And like you realize that your microphone costs $700 less than the microphone that you were using. I'm like, I like this one better.
It
fits
just
my-
sounds better.
I'm like,
I know, and yours sounds. Yours is
sounds nice.
like it sounds very nice, but it's also a pain in the ass on my end.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't
I'm not-
feel like you
I'm not.
are.
I'm really not.
Yeah, I know.
So, got Joe coming down on the 20th of this month, January. I have Bikers Against Child Abuse Twin Cities chapter coming down in February.
That's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm stupid excited. I got to meet one of their members, Bull,
What kind of bicycle does he ride?
Harley.
I so want you to ask that question.
Well,
You know
so
I will.
So what kind of motorized bicycle do you?
I'm just kidding.
So
bicycle.
no, I came across Baca many years ago, well before meeting Bull, via Facebook and such, and kind of like it was an article through the Chive, I believe.
Yeah.
These big burly fucking biker, these armoires of humans that get to hang out with these kids that are in less than awesome situations and kind of help them through while the legal side of things do their course. And I think what they do is phenomenal. And when Bull reached out to me and said, hey, I would like to get the guys on the show or get the folks on the show, I'm like, absolutely. I think that'd be an absolute blast to highlight them. They got approval from their national headquarters to do this, which any media kind of thing has to get approved first.
That's awesome.
And
So they're definitely coming to DOO.
yeah. There's some stuff that we have to go through over off air with that. But moving forward from there, I have Ben's friend from college, Sam.
Oh yeah, really?
She agreed.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
awesome.
To pick her brain. Mostly, I kind of strong armed her because somebody else. I had a couple other requests come through, like, "Hey, you need to highlight what physical exercise does for the mental state of people." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, I'd love to talk about that. I just don't know anyone. And then I screenshot those conversations, sent it to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm down." I'm like, "Yes."
Yes. Sammy's doing some awesome stuff.
And then I have a chiropractor, my roommate's old buddy from college. He's down, I want to say Prescott. Don't quote me on that one. Prescott, Wisconsin.
That's not a real place.
Yeah, Carl is his name. He's cool. Got to chat with him. He actually contacted me many years ago when I first really launched the arena. Like, hey, this is cool shit. Like, I really think what you're doing is a cool thing. So I'm stupid happy to get him on the show. I have a company called Farm to Fist. Karen and her husband Greg up from Pitchfork, where they have a hop farm. They do flowers. They do wedding events. All
Ooh.
sorts of cool shit.
Where does the fist come in?
Yeah. Do
Well-
they need an event coordinator?
Well, Farm to Fist being
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense.
they do a lot of cool shit. They're coming
Seems very
also
violent.
in February, if I remember correct.
It's not the way
Yeah, February 10th.
Gordon thought.
No.
Gordon thought about it like he thought about a cigar. I'm sorry, man. It's show 5.
I have a power lifter out of Ohio, Joe Sullivan. Who,
Let me know when the power lifters are coming so I can make sure that Matt's not
No,
here.
he's going to be a Skype interview because he
okay,
does,
that's
he
good.
just so
That's
in
less
his words,
intimidating.
his bicep decided to take a vacation to his shoulder.
That doesn't make any sense.
He had a complete bicep tear.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So he's gone out of the competing game. He doesn't have any plans to come to 2019. I kind of shot him an email off the whim and said, hey, here's the show. This is what it's based off. I'd really like to have you on. He goes, yeah, sounds fun. I'm like, woo! He's one of the guys that Justin introduced me to
Mm-hmm.
because his stories are hilarious. And I lost about 45 minutes of my life that I'm never going to get back to one of his stupid jokes about a horse that started a band, blah, blah, blah. Everybody in the band gets killed, and then the horse
Did
walks...
you just ruin one of his jokes?
No. It's a pretty typical joke. And then the horse goes into the bar to get a drink, and the bartender goes, "Why the long face?" It's like, fuck. It was an Instagram story. So anyway, another band me and Ben got to see, Swells.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Swell. I don't
Swell?
think it's plural.
I thought it was
I'm actually
Swells.
wearing their.
It
no,
says Swells the band. Yeah, S.
Oh, there's an S.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing their shirt, so I would know.
Jackass.
My bad. I was really drunk. That
We
night.
got to talk to them after their show at the Amsterdam here in St. Paul and got to chit chat a little bit. And I said, "Hey, you two would be awesome to have on this podcast if you're going to be touring in 2019. I'd love to have you in the studio. If not, let's do a Skype." And started chit chatting for a little bit. They're not going to be up here this year anytime that's really convenient. So they're going to be another Skype interview. I have another.
You know what would be really fun, and of course I'm just thinking about this, is to do like an in-studio session with bands.
That's my goal.
And Casey's gonna be mad because that would require him reconfiguring his console. But
No, I'm fine with that. As long as it's not for Gordon at the last second. You're like, I brought this microphone that I want to use instead of yours.
Well, what Casey doesn't remember is when I told him about getting a new microphone, he said bring it down sometime.
Yeah, I said bring it down sometime. I didn't say
Hook it
pull it
up.
out at the last second. And then-
Well, seeing as I was late to mic check, I didn't really have a good opportunity.
hey, Gordon,
Yes, sir.
whose
be
fault
on
is it that
time.
you were late to mic check?
I'm going to blame Roger.
I'm going to blame you.
So, anyway, I have another massage therapist and physical therapist kind of guy here in town, River Falls. He also did some coaching in the Olympic sport.
if you have massage therapists come on the show, do we all get like a 10-minute chair massage?
Be awesome. He also does Easton, which is my absolute favorite.
Are they bringing their own massage table? Like, I feel like they have to.
I'll just lay on the floor.
I'll
I
talk to
don't
him. I'll shoot him a message.
Does that mean I'll do that? That sounds nice.
And I'm getting my cousin Eric down. He runs 2 physical therapy clinics, both in Spooner and Hayward, and just be able to pick his.
How
brain.
does he deal with that dichotomy? Like
Between Spooner
yeah, I
and
mean,
Hayward.
because
Magic.
Spooner sucks, but Hayward
magic
blows.
because there's a bridge for that too.
There is.
There's a bridge for that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. They got 4 kids and he runs 2 businesses. It's like, well, you want to be on a show? And you're-
Are 2
and
from
you're-
Spooner and 2
Yeah.
from Hayward?
They build their house on like the county line or something.
God damn it! No. And of course, I mentioned Julie from Gets Design here, downtown Hudson. She's gonna. I told her she's gonna be on. She doesn't have a choice in the matter now. Carla, I spoke to her. Said I would like to have her back on the show again. Because she did a lot of pop-ups and she went to Chicago.
Yeah,
and
it
New
seemed
York.
like she had a lot of fun when she was on here. So.
Yeah, yep.
So she agreed. So I'm holding her to it now.
I mean, we started calling Carlos Carlos, so
You should also get her to bring her husband David,
Yeah.
because he builds. He's a woodworker and he builds custom guitar pedals.
oh really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
dude's
That'd
got
be a
some
blast.
absolutely wicked fuzz pedals. Makes me wish I could like actually play guitar. So just pretend.
There's a
Pretending is
bartender.
great.
Yeah.
Bartender that I met because Justin called me at noon on a Saturday. Said, "Hey, what are you doing at 4:00?"
I'm still waiting for that cocktail off on DOO. Like that's gonna be amazing.
His name's Jake, and literally I met him because I was at his wedding that afternoon because Justin called me last minute and said, "Want to go to a wedding?" I go,
Want to be my +1?
"Yeah." Why not?" So then
You just have to put out.
a month, not even later,
did. Look at that
I'm over
cigar.
at Pearl and Thief, and Jake's like, "Oh, here's my 2 notebooks of recipes that I made for cocktails. Tell me what you want." I'm like, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah. What's your best pick? And he made me, I don't know, 8, 10 cocktails. And he goes, "Oh, it's $10."
Your life is so hard sometimes.
Why are you
Gordon.
married?
Really is.
So, yeah, including he made a
That's why he's married.
my
Did you
favorite
not-
Jake. My favorite cocktail that you made and you are going to make here in studio is called the Smoking Jacket. It smells like a really nice, light-bodied, sun-grown cigar, but finishes with notes of caramel. It's awesome. You will like it. You can thank me later. I got
Do I
Matt
have to?
Large Nuts from Pitchfork.
Okay.
He's going to come down and talk about his jig and battery business, Energize Outdoors. I got Patty Ryan, owner of Patty Ryan's, Kirk. He's going to come down and talk about what it's like to own a restaurant and all the frustrations that come along with that. My cousin Eric, another Eric, is actually a musician and released his second EP last month. And going to have him down in the studio. I'm going to try to twist him arm into playing something live for us. So you can adjust your microphones for that.
I actually have to figure out how to do things for me. Musicians are so picky.
And Mike from Swingbridge, regular, veteran, I guess, of DOO and Homebrew Bound from Swingbridge Brewery here in River Falls. He agreed to come down last year.
I'm not going to hold my breath for this one.
Just shit kind of fell apart near the end between my schedule more than his, and so I had to cancel on him. I felt kind of bad.
I've been trying to get him down again for the last 6 months.
I have some pull. He owes me a big favor. I'm going to pull that one in.
Okay, all right. So if you pull that favor in, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I guess, I don't know. I'll deal with it. I'll take advantage of it hard. Like, I mean, if you're coming down for this show, I come down for these six.
Let's do a marathon day.
And then I had during the interview with
He's gonna be
John.
sauced by yours.
Yeah, during the
That's the point.
yes, that interview with John from Stonehill. He brought up Eric from St. Croix Valley Hop Farm
Ooh.
quite a few times, and so I actually bumped into John at Pitchfork and said, "You are the #1 listened to episode to date so far out of all 16. Nothing spectacular, but he had a good time." And I mentioned I'd like to have him on and Eric on again and kind of dwell more into Eric's side of things and also that trip that they took down to Chile, if I remember right.
Yep.
Chile.
Go more in depth on that. I thought that was an absolute blast. I had a blast learning. I learned a shitload about hops.
That was good.
That was a really good episode.
It was amazing how good that episode with
Yeah.
no prepared questions.
Well, I need to get him on for Homebrew Bound.
Yeah.
I also need to talk to the honey guy. I can't remember his name. now.
Tom Meisner.
Yeah, I got to talk to Tom because we're gonna do some mead stuff.
Yeah,
in the near future.
Ooh, where is Tom's?
He's
In Stillwater,
based in Stillwater, but where he grows or where he harvests the honey.
where he
is
grows
not-
the honey.
Yeah, where he grows it. His land is farther north.
Okay.
Closer to North Dakota, South Dakota, something
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
All right.
Oh,
I
so
got,
way up there.
yeah.
Um,
There's some stuff I can tell you off air.
I got someone else
He's
that's hunting too.
I can't
Okay.
say anything until he gives me a green light on some stuff. And then also my tattoo artist who owns Aloha Art Collective in Woodbury, and his #1 artist. Well, my opinion, #1 artist. I don't know how the rating goes over there. Tony Sideshow Tony. You can follow him on Instagram. Both of them do fantastic work. I've started following Tony shortly after Justin, who's been on episode 1 and whatever cocktail episode that we did with Mike. I want to say 8, 9, maybe 10, something like that. Do you remember, Casey?
No.
Anyway, Justin was at the shop as the piercer for a long time, and he's actually the one that recommended me to go see Aaron or Tony for my newest tattoo. I've been working with Aaron on this piece. I want to work with Tony on another piece, but seeing the work that Tony does in shop and then following him on social media is phenomenal. And I think to talk to Aaron as a tattoo artist and business owner as well, and he also has a background in kickboxing and surfing and all sorts of weird shit because the guy's insane. And then Tony as just an artist who managed to monetize what he does, I think will be a lot of fun.
It'd be awesome. Can we get tattoos on air?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean,
And I don't know if it's necessarily legal.
why wouldn't it be
the
legal?
because of the sanitation side of things.
If he's not doing it as part of a parlor and it's a promotional event, they can do it pretty much anywhere, I think.
I would volunteer as tribute to Cry in
Okay,
the Corner.
as far as personal health goes, because I've had a bacterial infection due to.
Oh, you know, as personal health goes, like, that's completely different than legal. This is America, Gordon. Personal health doesn't matter.
Are you sure that the bacterial infection you acquired was from your tattoo and
And not
not
from the
acts?
giant
Yes.
dick in your mouth?
It's an Asylum 13 cigar.
I was going to reference
8
other
by
events,
80. We are not going into that on air.
That's why I cut you off. I didn't know that at the time.
No,
but that's
no.
what I'm going with.
So no, I had after I got my first tattoo done with Aaron, my tattoo got infected. No, by no fault at all by them. My bandage started to come up and peeled up a little bit, and that's where it happened to get infected, and it caused some issues down
All right,
the road.
Gordon, we're at like 1:15. Should we wrap up?
We can. Do you want to? I mean, I still got like another half-hour cigar left.
I mean, yeah, but we don't need to record that.
It could be
It's
fun.
10:30.
I've been
I'm
recording
sorry,
since
what, the
3.
nurses call already from the home?
Dude, I have a shelf life.
I've
Like
been
Cinderella, man.
I have literally been in this chair since 3:15.
Oh, shit. I gotta... Okay, that's nothing.
You still got to drive back to Spooner.
It's only an hour and a half.
Does Spooner suck or blow?
Uh,
I believe
Blow.
it sucks.
no, Hayward sucks.
Spooner blows. That's right.
You get it right.
Yeah,
I was wrong, too.
Jesus Christ.
The bridge is important.
Yeah, we can wrap up. Thanks again, folks. Welcome to 2019 Rules of the Arena. Look forward to bringing in more episodes, more than 16 this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed. As long as
We're gonna get
everything works out.
17.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you're more than welcome to reach me out on Facebook and Instagram at Built in the Arena, or email me at roainfo@gmail.com. Look forward to it. See you next time.